Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome once again to Booking a Better Wrestler, the show where we take a wrestler from WWE's roster and see if we can do a better job with them. My name is Paul Laporte, and we're going to get right into things. The wrestler that we're looking at today is none other than Wade Barrett. Now, there are rumors that Wade Barrett is leaving WWE this summer, that his contract is running out, and that he is not planning on renewing. And I felt that this would be a good opportunity to discuss booking a wrestler out of a promotion. So booking a wrestler who is planning on leaving and how we can get the most out of them. And there's two schools of thought to this. You can either bury the guy, make him look as bad as possible, so when the competition inevitably picks him up, the value of him is going to be lowered, or you can actually elevate him briefly and get the most out of him that you can on his way out the door, so you can actually maybe, really get some sort of return on your investment while you have the time left with him. And of course, we are going to do the latter. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this off with the fast lane match for the US title between Alberto Del Rio and Kalisto. Towards the end of the match, Wade Barrett's going to come down, and the announcers are going to play up that he's going to help out his League of Nations member, Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio sees Wade Barrett and throws Kalisto to the outside and distracts the referee. Wade Barrett waits until Kalisto gets to his feet and then levels him with a bullhammer, and Del Rio rolls out of the ring. He high-fives Wade Barrett. Good job, buddy. Goes to throw Kalisto back into the ring and finish him off, and then Wade Barrett bullhammers Del Rio in the back of his head and knocks him unconscious. Kalisto makes it back into the ring, beats the 10 count, and Del Rio loses by countout, and Kalisto retains his US title. The next night on Raw, the announcers say that Del Rio was not cleared to be at the show tonight due to quote-unquote injuries suffered at the hands of Wade Barrett last night. We're going to avoid saying concussions because of all the Daniel Bryan stuff going on right now. Wade Barrett comes out and he cuts a promo saying that it's no secret by now that he is going to be leaving WWE in the summer, so we're actually going to acknowledge it. We're going to address the real-world issue that the storyline is kind of surrounding, and then Wade Barrett says that he wants to make sure that he goes out with a bang. He wants the one accolade in WWE that he's never been able to achieve. He's been IC champion, he's been King of the Ring, but he's never been able to get the World Heavyweight Championship, and that's why he's going to cut himself off from the deadweight that is the League of Nations. He asks everybody, do you think I was ever going to be happy playing second fiddle to guys like Rusev, Sheamus, and Del Rio? You don't think I knew the pecking order in that group? Did you actually believe that I was going to be happy as some sort of henchman? Well, I'm afraid I have some bad news. I'm not a henchman, I'm a king, and I'm going to show each and every one of you exactly what I'm capable of. Out come Rusev and Sheamus to interrupt his promo, and they say that they're going to just beat Wade Barrett's ass, that he turned on them and he's going to make that, and they're going to make him pay. Wade Barrett listens to them and then challenges them to a tag match later on in the evening. Sheamus scoffs and he says, Wade, you don't have a partner, you don't have any friends. Who are you going to get? And Barrett says, don't worry, I'll find somebody, and if not, I'm going to kick your ass on my own. Later on in the evening, we get a backstage vignette in which Barrett approaches Neville and asks Neville to be his partner, and Neville rejects the idea at first. He asks Barrett why would he ever want to help him. Barrett tried to make his life miserable when he first got to the main roster. Barrett says, listen, I know you and me have never gotten along, but if there's one thing that I liked about the League of Nations is that it felt good having some people on my side who shared something in common with me, and he thinks that working with his fellow countrymen will be a good experience for the both of them. Neville blows him off and says, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. Time comes for the tag team match. We could even make this the main event. The World Heavyweight title does not need to close the show, or the main event scene doesn't need to close the show every time. So this will be our main event of the evening, and Rusev and Sheamus come out, and then comes Wade Barrett down to the ring, and he waits. And he hopes Neville will come out, but there's no music, there's no pyro, and Barrett accepts the fact that this is just going to be a handicap match, and he's just going to have to take him on his own, and then finally, Neville's music hits, Neville comes out, Neville gets in the ring with Barrett, and gives him a look that says, listen, don't make me regret this, and the match begins. Now, people may be questioning us matching up a heel with a baby face, but I'm okay with the idea that people who are allied don't necessarily have to have the same alignment. Just because they're working together towards a common goal right now doesn't mean that they need to be best buddies, or doesn't mean that they can't be friends and just have different ideals. That happens all the time in the real world. And as this match shows, Neville and Barrett work really well together as a team. Neville's going to be using his speed and agility to get the League of Nations on the back foot, and Barrett's going to be using his brawler style and power moves to put him away. The finish comes when Barrett nails Sheamus with a bullhammer, and Neville hits him with the red arrow and scores the pin. Now, over the next couple months, you continue to build Barrett and Neville as a tag team, and they can even have a short run as tag team champs, winning the belts from the New Day at Extreme Rules. Also, in this time, you can close up the loose ends between Barrett and Del Rio, have a singles match between those two. Barrett will get the win in that. But Barrett's growing impatient while all of this is going on. He says, the tag team title is nice. I'm glad I'm able to get back on the winning track, but I want that world heavyweight title, and time is running out. So he goes straight to the Authority and asks them for a shot, but he's denied time and time again. He's just, you're not a big enough player, Wade. Sorry. So finally, Wade manages to, beg, cheat, lie, and steal his way into the Money in the Bank title match. The Authority, once he makes it in, tell him that, okay, fine, you can be in this match, but you're also going to have to defend your tag title that evening. You're the tag team champions. The tag team title has got to be defended at the pay-per-view, so if you want to do this, that's fine, but you're going to have to do double duty. Wade says, fine, no problem, I'll do it. And the Authority also reminds him that Wade's contract is up at Money in the Bank. It's his last show. Wade says, fine, I don't care, I just want a chance, I won in the match. That's it. Money in the Bank comes by, and Wade Barrett gets the win in the ladder match, which is going to be the opening match of the evening in a usual hard-fought, grueling style that match is. Barrett is going to be very beaten and bruised up from that. Later on in the evening, Wade and Neville take on their opponents. We could say a rematch with the New Day, we can have somebody else in the tag team title match, and they lose this match because Wade Barrett is just too worn down to put on his best showing. Neville is really frustrated at the loss, and he walks out on Wade Barrett, who's still laying in the ring, worn and beaten from his second match of the evening. Alright, so at the end of the night, the main event is Dean Ambrose, the champ, versus Roman Reigns. And the two put on a hard-fought battle, but Dean Ambrose retains his belt. And just as he is celebrating and, clutching his injuries from the match, Wade Barrett's music cues, he comes out and cashes in his briefcase. He looks very tired and hurt himself, and instead of ambushing Dean, he sits in the corner and motions for him to get to his feet. Come on, get up. We're going to do this face-to-face like men. And you have the champion and the challenger both worn down, beaten up, but they're badass, tough-as-nails guys, and they're going to have it out. And the two have a 5 to 10 minute match that goes back and forth, but ends when Wade goes for a bullhammer, Dean ducks, hits him with dirty deeds, scores the pin. Dean Ambrose remains the champion. He looks strong, having defended twice in one evening, and Wade Barrett, despite cashing in and losing, still looks like he's a badass. He wrestled 3 times in one evening. He did it not by using underhanded tactics, but he just wanted to tackle every challenge head-on, and he looks good. And you can either have him give his exit speech after the show or the next night on Raw, and then he can leave the company to go on to the next chapter of his career. Now, you may be asking me, why make the guy look good on his way out? Why not? I mean, WWE doesn't have any real competition right now, and no matter how good or bad Wade looks, if he shows up in TNA or New Japan, it's not going to suddenly swing the ratings and topple WWE from the top of their mountain. I mean, Wade Barrett's been a good hand, and he's been with the company for over a decade. It'd be nice to give him a bit of a spotlight on his way out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Booking a Better Wrestler. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to check out all of our other shows that we have going on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have Changing the Questions. On Mondays, we have Time Warp, and on Fridays, we have Let's Play Total Extreme Wrestling. If you want to get in touch with us, you can leave us some feedback at changingthequestions@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Twitter at ChangingTheQs, which is at ChangingTheQS. Also, be sure to follow and like us on Facebook. And that's going to do it. Again, hope you enjoyed this. My name is Paul Laporte, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.